So yeah, about 2 weeks ago now, I played the GPO 2 beta. So I haven't really talked about it anywhere, and some of the people have done their videos and stuff already. So you've probably seen the game, loads of videos about it on YouTube. So I thought I'd just throw my 2 cents, I guess. Overall, I would say I enjoyed it definitely. There were some things I did like, and obviously some things I didn't like. So the first thing I noticed was that the mobile suits don't feel as weighty as the first game. Now, to me, the first game had it perfectly balanced. Like the way the mobile suits moved, like it was they felt really like weighty, like how I would expect a Gundam to move. In this one, however, GPO 2, the mobile suits did feel a little bit floaty to me. Now, not as bad as like in targeting sight, not that type of floaty, but just felt like, if you had like a volume knob and you just turned it a little bit, just tweaked it a little bit too much, and I would tweak it a bit back. Also, it could be just because like the game itself actually feels like more smoother now. The gameplay is just way more smoother to me now, so that's definitely a plus. It was just like really nice slick animation, which was a bit off key at first, but I got used to it. But yeah, I think the mechs need to feel a bit more weighty. Also, I noticed with like grenades now, you can't throw them as far as you want to throw them. Like on the first game, you could throw, like you could make an arcing like kind of angle and really lob them grenades as far as you could. But on this one, I was trying to do the same thing, but grenades would only go as far as, there was only certain distance they would go no matter what I tried to do. There's nothing I could do about it. It would only go so far, so I don't like that. I hope they change that back. The airstrike thing as well, that was just way overpowered. Like if you got caught in that, you were finished. I mean, even if you had like full energy, you'd be like, depending what mobile suit you're in, you'd probably still get killed anyway. That's how bad they were. So they definitely need to scale back on that, how much damage that does. But, it's a better, so it's early days. That could easily change that round easily. What I really like what they added was like the debris and like smoke and explosions now. Like, well, when an explosion goes off, it just feels so powerful, like it's almost in your face. It felt like, they really got the sound effects so much better now, and you actually feel it. And that creates like debris all around you and smoke and all that from when the explosion happens. So it becomes very hard for you to see, which I know some people probably don't like. And I bet any money some stealth suits are really going to love that confusion all them explosions cause. So that's going to create havoc in future games, I can see that. So going into this, my biggest concern was obviously the space battles now added into this game, since they were in the first game. And I always thought 0G is a very hard thing to do in any game, never mind Gundam games, because I've yet to play a Gundam game where I actually enjoy 0G maps and stuff like that. So yeah, in this, it's still the same case. I'm sorry, I didn't enjoy my time in there, to be honest. I think in this space you can only shoot from a certain angle, which I felt weird, because in space you're supposed to be, be able to freely move around how you want, but they've made it so you can't actually turn fully around upside down from head to toe. So if someone's underneath you, you won't be able to shoot them. They'll be just underneath you, and if they're above you, same problem. So, but I understand, like I said, 0G is a very hard thing to do in any game, and that's why you probably don't see many people do it, because there's always going to be some kind of error. Plus, I felt like on that map, well, it's the only map we got to play in space, but on that one, it was like, unless you're in a sniper, a unit of some kind, a mobile suit, you're going to find it very difficult to, do any good. But then later on, I did like the day after, a couple of days after the beta ended, I watched some Japanese videos, and this guy, man, he was in a dom. My God, he was just destroying people in space. I was like, wow, so that's how you're supposed to play in space with a dom. But to be fair, when I looked at the rest of his team, I noticed like it was filled with like, snipers and maybe a few gun cannons or something like that. So to me, the space maps is something that you're definitely going to have to think about your team. I mean, you can't all just roll out in DOMs. There's just no way that's going to work. I can very much see sniper players being very key on that map. So yeah, that's something to think about. But I mean, it's not terrible, but I definitely favoured more playing on the ground map, because especially in the beta, because our time was very limited. So on the second day, I didn't really spend that much time in space. I think I pretty much played one match in space on the second day, and then the rest of the time I was just down on Earth. I'm definitely not a new type. I'm Earth ground, but yeah, Space Battles I think still needs a bit of work, but it's okayish. I've played worse, but yeah, I'm still not a big fan of it, to be honest. So one of the best things about this game is that it's got rid of the energy system. So there was no more like, 3 credits and then you've got to wait 3 hours or 2 hours or however long it is to get another go. You can just play as much as you want. Of course, that means it's been replaced by something, and that something is basically loot boxes. Now, I don't know how you feel about loot boxes, but it's a very dangerous thing. So it can either go one way or the other. And until we get the full actual game, we can't really know how bad it's going to be, because I've only played a few other games that have this kind of system in it, like mobile games, and it's one of those things like where it gets your claws into you, you just end up spending so much money, where just to get these, like, well, the game I was playing called Metal Slug Attack, and just to get a few new units of like the new releases, you'd have to spend so much money and just hope. It's basically like gambling. That's the way you have to look at it. You just have to hope that you get the unit, and that's my worry for this game, is like, are they going to make it like so you basically can only get certain units in this crank or gambling system that they put in their loot box? Because if you've like, I'm surely if you're a gamer and you're watching this, you know what EA did with Star Wars Battlefront, and my god, I do not want that in this game at all. That kind of level of stuff, put behind a paywall basically. So the way I think it's going to be is that certain level of suits will only be attainable through that loot box system. So on the beta we had up to level, I think it was level 3, and if I'm going off GBO next, in that game you do have suits up to level 7. So I believe the only way you'll be able to get suits in this game will be through that gacha system, the higher level suits that is. And I think that could be a problem going forward if that's how to do it, because I understand they've got to make their money somehow, and I understand that, but it's how greedy you want to be with it. Like I said, we saw with EA and Star Wars Battlefront, that's just way too much. And to be honest, I really enjoyed what I played of the game, and I don't want it to get ruined by greed basically, because I won't support greed. I don't care how good a game is. It doesn't matter how much I'm into a game or not. I just won't get behind it. Simple as that. There's plenty of games to play, you understand? But I really enjoyed this game from what I played of it, so I don't want that loot box system to ruin it for me, like it's ruined so many other games in this industry, and I really hope that doesn't be the case. So yeah, overall I'd say I enjoyed the beta very much. I mean, if you like the first game, you'll love this one, so that's a good thing, right? And the space battles, yeah, it wasn't the best thing, but it can be improved, and I'm sure, I got a feeling, because we've got the timeline up to I think UC 96 or 97, so it's possible we might even see some unicorn suits in this game. Could you imagine that? But that means we might have transformable mobile suits, which I can see being in space, but they probably won't work on Earth maybe, which some suits in this game won't work in space, so it could be the opposite way as well. Some spacesuits might not work on Earth, so because I can't imagine like a Zeta Gundam flying around on the maps. That would feel a bit weird, and then it would start to feel like GBO next too much, and I don't really want that. I mean, I like that game as well, but I mean, let's just keep these types of games separate. I like grounded combat in my GPO. That's what I like, so I'll probably be sticking to ground maps mostly. So yeah, I had a ton of fun on this game. The worst thing about it is when it ended, like the day after. I just wanted to play more, but we couldn't, obviously. The beta was very short. It's only a couple, 3 hours each day, which wasn't nowhere near enough. But I had a lot of fun on there, to be honest. So I can't wait for the game to come out. Like I said, I just hope the game doesn't get ruined by pay to win loot box system. We'll just have to wait and see how that turns out. We can't really say through the beta, like I said. But everything I played on the beta was enjoyable, and only a few things need tweaking that they could do easily with a few patches. So there's nothing to worry about too major. If you like the first game, you're going to love this one. Now, is this game going to come out in the West? I don't know about that, but you never know. I mean, look at new Gundam Breaker. That's coming out on Steam, on the PC of all things. I think that's the first Gundam game, as far as I know, that to come to the PC. So you never know. It could happen. But as of now, it's going to be just Japanese and a few other territories. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, great game. Can't wait for it to come out. When it comes out, definitely check it out if you got a PS4. Definitely worth checking out and making a separate account for if you have to. and I'm not a big person on multiplayer games, so for me to say that is a big deal because I don't tend to play these types of games. I like to play single player games, but I have a lot of fun. Obviously, this type of game is only going to be as good as the people you play it with. That is, of course, another problem, but that will be the same with any type of multiplayer game. So hopefully, the community is good, because the community on the first one was pretty cool. Even though I played the game really late, I only played with mostly just Japanese players, but they were really, nice. There weren't anyone that was there was anyone that was rude or anything like that. So yeah, I can't wait to play this, and I'm sure you will enjoy it too.